Welcome to RP Baseball and our video lessons, where we will break down the mechanics on video. We can take the video or you can just send us the film. Details will be available at the end of this lesson. Thank you, and let's get started. Okay, we have Patrick Allen, which is a right-handed pitcher, and this is June 2011. And what I'm going to do is have him filmed in normal speed, mostly for the benefit for Patrick to look at eventually. What I have done is taken photographs from positions of this video, and we'll break those down here a little bit. Some of the things you're going to notice in some normal speed is that I noticed right away is, of course, his aggressive follow-through. His right leg comes very, very aggressively forward. We'll talk about that here a little bit. And if you look at it really closely, you'll see his arm slot, which is the path his right arm takes. You're going to see it is a little long there. It kind of extends a little bit early.
Fastball.
Patrick needs to try to improve his velocity. He had some arm troubles. He had a surgery, but is fully recovering health-wise. But he was off long enough where he's lost some velocity.
All right.
We want to try to get his velocity back. We want to try to get his velocity back, and we want to try to maybe fix his mechanics a little bit so that these problems won't happen again. So in addition to mechanical work, we're going to be doing a lot of other things.
Who taught you your changeup?
Brad Davis.
Okay.
I was asking some questions there. Brad Davis, the left-hand pitcher that pitched at Spalding and then at Lewis and Clark State. The first one here is in his balanced position. Everything looks pretty good. And we look at this now. You'll notice in slow motion, if you look at back in slow motion, if you notice here in normal speed even, you're going to see him floating or leaking forward. That right hip starts kind of coming forward a little bit early. That's going to cause some rushing issues, and that's what we'll talk about here a little bit later. Next one is going to be his split position or separating position. You can see his weight is already moving forward. I would prefer, at least with him right now, since he is rushing, that his weight doesn't go forward that early, but we can compensate there if needed. I'd like to see him sitting a little bit more. Sitting is that back right leg bending a little bit more into his back leg. This next one, I took a photograph of this because I wanted to show hooking, and his right hand palm is away from view here, which that means he's kind of hooking his right hand back a little bit. Now his path looks really linear. He's going toward the plate really good. His shoulders, his hips, his stride looks very, very good here. And the next one is going to be a stride position. This is his worst position of all. Weight should be back. His front shoulder should be pointing forward. He's flying open quite a bit right here, and he's going to have no power. This is what we're working on, trying to keep his weight back even more. Younger pitchers, high school below, even a lot of college guys want to try to accelerate their legs so much that they get to the point where they're rushing that lower half. And then this next picture is a picture of Patrick. You can see that arm slot is really high. Arm slot is the path the arm takes. You can see just looking at him from here, it's a very weak position. He's not driving forward. He's almost like coming over his shoulder there. If you see a front view, that becomes a little bit of a problem, and we need to get that a little bit of a stronger arm slot, a little bit lower actually. And this next one will be his follow-through, technically his follow-through position. The next one after this will look a little bit better, but he's released the ball and he's coming through again. That torso is a kind of a 2 o'clock slot. On the clock, you want that to be a little bit more 3 o'clock, where he's facing forward at the release, and he's not using his body very good. As we saw earlier, wasn't using it very good on his stride position. He's flying open. Okay, this is a pretty good follow-through position, but it's a little late. It would be a little bit earlier with this would be better. You can see that front leg, his left leg is getting on his toes a little bit, which is normal. He's really stiff on that front leg. You can see there's some acceleration on that back leg going quite a bit. That's from the rushing, where his lower half is just accelerating forward a little bit too much. Now his right leg hasn't touched yet. It's from that high position, the previous picture, and it's kind of coming from a high position to this lower position. This is actually his fielding position, slightly after the leg is up, horrible fielding position, and it's a really strong indication of rushing. He's on his toe, his weight's going forward. When you see his normal movement, you can see how this is an acceleration, aggressive movement. This is where his right leg lands. It should be more even, if you're looking from the view here, more even with his left foot, or it may come around eventually, but not in a big aggressive stride like that. So we've got some issues here with him rushing. Rushing is basically the lower half is ahead of his upper half, and we need to fix that as much as we can, and that's breaking down his delivery.
Well, that's it. I know I went through this pretty quickly, and I may have used some baseball terms you're not familiar with. You can find a lot more information on the RP Baseball website, and then going to the Baseball 400 page. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I hope you have found this instructional tool helpful. Thank you, and have a great day.